Okay, what's up guys? Game Fiend of all games here, and yes, it's Saturday, and that means it's time for another Drama Scripted Saturday. But a lot of unscripted things happened this past week in wrestling. So let's just use this as an unscripted Drama Saturday. Let's start off with TNA's last pay-per-view, which I think it was Slammiversary. The next Hall of Famer in the TNA Hall of Fame is Kurt Angle, which I don't like that at all. The reason why I don't like that at all is AJ Styles has been there for the whole time. Well, we're 11 years now. 11 years. And he's like carried that company. He's basically their version of John Cena. And it's funny how their TNA did the whole thing what WWE's doing. Yeah, they took John Cena out of the title shot, WWE title for a whole year, and they did the same thing with AJ Styles. They took him out the whole title scene for a whole year. But number one, I don't like the fact that TNA is inducting active wrestlers into the Hall of Fame. Like last year it was Sting. Sting still wrestles. Now this year it's Kurt Angle. So it's either because of the gold medals or it's because it's TNA saying, haha, WWE, we inducted this person before you. But I don't like the fact of they're inducting active wrestlers. But if you're going to induct active wrestlers, okay, maybe I could give you a free pass on Sting because Sting is the icon, but this year should have been AJ Styles. I mean, it really should have been AJ Styles. So we have to wait a whole nother year just so you could induct the person that you mainly built the first 8 to 9 years. The back of the company on was AJ Styles, and he's still not inducted, which doesn't make any sense. But that's TNA for you. And then another note, I still don't know what the hell's going on in that company because the Aces and Eight storyline is still going on. The only thing I've heard, oh yeah, TNA signs Rampage Jackson. That was their big free agent signing person. That doesn't make sense to me either. Are they doing it to compete with WWE? It's like, oh, WWE signs Brock Lesnar, a ex-UFC superstar, but Brock Lesnar was a wrestler first. He was a college wrestler first. He's a one-time All-American NCAA champion. And then he went into WWE, and then he left WWE for UFC, became a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion, then left UFC, and then came back to WWE. Rampage Jackson has just been UFC and MMA. And I heard there was just like a stare down between him and Kurt Angle. So two guys, the TNA's motto is like, you don't get pushed until you're 35. Because that's what's going on. I mean, look how long it took them to push Bobby Roode. I mean, Austin Aries is just that damn good that he got his push before he reached 35. And I think Cowboy James Storm is in his 30s. So that should be the TNA slogan. You don't get pushed until you're 35. And other un-drama scripted news, because there's a lot. John Cena has his own clothing line. Yeah. John Cena has partnered up with, I think, Kmart, and he has his own clothing line now. I don't know how big that's going to be. I don't know what any of the merchandise looks like. But John Cena is going to be making that money. John Cena's clothing line is for children, for kids under the age of 10. Oh, so it's gonna sell good for John Cena. It's just that he has his own clothing line apparel. Some more on drama scripted news. Evan Bourne hints that he may be coming back. He tweeted saying, soon the caterpillar will emerge from its cocoon as a shark with a gun for a mouth. Hashtag Evan Bourne is coming. Okay, Evan Bourne. So yeah, Evan Bourne's coming for those who care about Evan Bourne. I'm really not that excited because hopefully he'll be able to stay off the marijuana and don't have the urge to get high. A big indie wrestling company named CHIKARA randomly went out of business. It seems that all this CHIKARA future dates that was set for the summer have been canceled, and all the wrestlers that was signed to CHIKARA has signed a no disclosure agreements, which means they can't talk. And the way their last IPPV ended was kind of weird. It ended in a no decision. And then there's rumors coming out that some fans shoulder tackled a glass door and a whole bunch of craziness, and CHIKARA is closed down. Now, here's my thoughts on it, that this may be an angle. Because they've made wrestlers sign a no disclosure. And their IPPV ended in a no contest. And it was for the championship. So none of the wrestlers can talk about what happened. There was apparently some crazy ending, and nobody's talking about it. So it could be an angle, and it just might be a whole CHIKARA reboot. Now, for them doing this as an angle is a really, really big risk because they're losing money. Because these people are still under contract, so I'm assuming they're still getting paid, right? So yeah, I'm gonna say it's an angle, and it's a huge angle if they do it. It's something like this can only work in the indies, you know, faking your whole company to close down, because companies like TNA and WWE can't do this because, number one, they have contract deals with the cable networks that they're on. So Vince McMahon just can't sit down in his office. I was like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna have that the WWE goes bankrupt, and that's the end of the show. So for WWE to be able to do that, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and Main Event would all have not to air. And if knowing Vince McMahon, he likes to do stuff like this, that like he likes to let apply for like 4 weeks. So there would be no Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Main Event for a month. So that means they couldn't air on television for a month. So that means those time slots that they signed contracts for, either Vince would have to pay them out his pocket, so the TV networks doesn't lose money. And if he really wanted to go all the way out, WWE is a publicly traded company on the stock market. So he would have to stop trading for his company for a month. And the value in his shares would decrease. That's why something like that couldn't happen for like the major companies. Just couldn't do it because they wouldn't be able to afford. Vince would lose millions if he would try to do a story like this. But I'm gonna keep my eye on the CHIKARA thing because it doesn't seem like they're closed for good. It does seem like a story, and a very interesting one, and one that would only work in independent scene. But that's gonna wrap this up on this week's Drama Scripted Saturday. I do Drama Scripted Saturday every Saturday, and if you like what you have witnessed and all the news I've fed you, feel free to subscribe to my channel, GameFiend127, and follow me on Twitter at Game_Fiend, and follow me on Facebook at Fiendable Games. And all this information that I've just given you is in the description box below. And until next Saturday, I'm Game Fiend, and I'm out here, guys.